I represent Ningiwarji Federal Constituency of Bauchi State. I come under Rule 8, on Order 8, Rule 4, on matters of urgent public importance on the need for urgent investigation and audit of the Nigerian Export Supervision Scheme Fund in view of the non-rendition of accounts to the Auditor General for the Federation by the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning and the excessive abuse of the NESS funds. I so move. Colleagues, the House recalls that the Pre-Shipment Inspection of Export Act 1966 requires that prior to the export of any goods from Nigeria, it must be inspected by an inspection agent, which in turn is required to issue, where appropriate, a clean certificate of inspection to the overseas buyer of the goods. The House further recalls that both oil and non-oil exports are liable to pre-shipment inspection in respect of their quality, quantity, and price, and the inspection agent is required to issue to the exporter a provisional certificate of inspection. Upon loading of the goods and conduct of a final inspection where the goods satisfy the required threshold as to the quantity, quality, and price, the inspection agent will issue a clean certificate of inspection. The House notes that in order to engender transparency in the administration of pre-shipment inspection program, the Act requires the inspection agent to send an original copy of the clean certificate of inspection to the following bodies: the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, referred to as the Federal Ministry of Finance, the Nigerian Customs, the Nigerian Ports Authority, the exporter, the exporters' banks for transmission to the buyer's bank overseas, and the Central Bank of Nigeria. The House further notes that in the spirit of transparency and public accountability, the inspection agent is obliged to furnish weekly reports of successfully conducted pre-shipment inspection to the Federal Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Commerce, now Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, and the Central Bank of Nigeria. House further notes that the Act requires the payment of a levy by exporters of...
Come back.
House further notes that the Act requires the payment of a levy by exporters of goods as pre-shipment inspection levy, which will be paid into a special fund from which the remuneration fees and other charges of the inspection agents are to be defrayed. In addition, Section 14, subsection 3 of the Act requires that any balance remaining in the special fund is to be used for funding the pre-shipment inspection program. Aware that Section 80, subsection 1 and subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended requires revenue that accrue to the Federation, which is not constitutionally required to be paid into a specific fund, must be paid into the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation. Hence, in view of the fact that the Act creates a special fund, balances in that fund is exempted from being paid to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. The House recalls that even though the fund is exempted from being remitted into the Consolidated Revenue Fund, Section 80, subsection 4 of the Constitution requires that spending or expenditure from any special fund cannot be done without any appropriation by the National Assembly. Section 80, subsection 4 of the Constitution states as follows: no money shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Revenue Fund or any other public fund of the Federation, except in the manner prescribed by the National Assembly. House notes that for the past 10 years, the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank of Nigeria has expended from the fund without National Assembly appropriation for such spending. That is widely known that both the Federal Ministry of Finance and Central Bank of Nigeria utilize the funds in special fund as a sort of slush fund. The House further notes that this constitutes a gross violation of the letters and spirit of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, the transparency intent embedded in the Pre-Shipment Inspection of Export Act 1966, and the Finance Control and Management Act. The extra statutory deductions and illegal expenditure from this fund has cost Nigeria over 700 billion naira within the last 10 years. Recently, over 500 million United States dollars was expended from the fund without any budgetary appropriation. In addition, the Federal Ministry of Finance has failed and refused deliberately to render its account in respect of the Nigerian Export Supervision Scheme Fund to the Auditor General for the Federation for auditing. Concerned that if urgent steps are not taken to investigate and audit the NESS fund, Nigeria may risk the strong possibility of losing more money, and the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Ministry of Finance may continue to use this fund as a slush fund with the chances of diverting it to personal use without any public scrutiny. The House resolves to mandate the House Committee on Public Accounts to carry out an investigation on the above allegations and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion raised by Honorable Mengi. I shall support, Mr. Speaker.
Those against say nay. Ayes have it.